right. Thank you so much for joining us again for another Pulsebeat podcast sponsored by Cardio Miracle. We are so excited to do a take two kind of and get this rocking and rolling. So really excited to have Sara on the line with us. Sara, could you please introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little about yourself?
Oh gosh, where do I start? Well, number one, I am the host of Accelerated Health with Sara Banta podcast. It's one of the top 10 supplement podcasts. I am an NANP certified supplement expert, graduate from Stanford University, but really it's all about my passion that started with my own health issues. I had Crohn's disease, heavy metal toxicity, PCOS, hair falling out, skin breakouts, felt like I was pregnant all the time. Wow. Food wasn't digesting, and Western medicine could not help me. And I had tubes up me, down me, around me, and they said, oh, just go take some Metamucil, and that's it. And so I went down the rabbit hole of natural medicine. I met my mentor and now my formulator of my supplements at Accelerated Health Products, where he scanned my body with a frequency device, a scalar frequency device called SCIO. And that device scans your body for 10,000 things. And in my first meeting with him, he said, I don't know how you even got in this office. You are running on empty. You have no energy. Your body's not working. And we're going to put you back together one piece at a time. Well, as we started unpeeling the onion on me, my eldest, who was 9 years at the time, he came down with leukemia. And that was obviously a very scary, horrific situation for a mom. I had two young girls at the time as well. And he... as we got the diagnosis, my son looked at me with these big eyes and he goes, Mom, why are you crying? You're going to fix me. And I said, you're right. I'm going to, and I'm not going to stop until I do. And so through natural solutions, nothing traditional, within a year, his body and his cells were not just cancer-free, but they looked beautiful, and his blood looked better than 99% of 9-year-old boy blood. And it's funny because that boy today is 23, and we all just got routine blood tests in our family. And the doctor said, he actually has the healthiest labs out of all of you. So he's doing fantastic, super healthy, does not take his health for granted. He eats organic, wild meats like I taught him. He takes his supplements. And he works out, and he just loves life. So that was just one story. And then my two other girls, one had asthma, anemia, and just always having issues with her allergies and immune system. No energy when she was younger. And she became a college athlete in rowing, and there's no harder sport out there. It's funny, after first year of practice at USC, she goes, Mom, do you know that we work out more than the boys basketball and football teams? And so that has turned around. Yep. And then my youngest, she was probably the healthiest, but she had some learning issues that we couldn't quite figure out because it wasn't ADHD. It was just kind of a comprehension issue. And I knew it was in there. And so we had to figure that out. And that girl just graduated high school with all honors classes and is now off to Boston University for rowing. So we have overcome a lot of very different challenges, all different than mine. And I always say that God put me through all of this. So I was forced to learn and also have compassion for so many issues. And the journey doesn't stop. I mean, in this last year, I went through a horrific experience with parasites and worms coming out of my skin, which was involved with shingles and the spike protein and a firestorm. And I'm like, God, why are you doing this? What is going on? And now come out of it, I found the one supplement that nipped it in the bud after trying so many others through this whole process. And there are so many people that are having those exact same symptoms because they're all linked to the pandemic. So it's very interesting. And as I learn, I just have this thirst to learn more. And so at Accelerated Health Products, we formulate supplements that don't trigger any inflammation or immune issues with anybody. They're broad spectrum, where a lot of supplements can be good for this person, but not this person. And then we incorporate ancient herbal wisdom from Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine to combined with the modern day nutraceuticals. And then we enhance all of our supplements with scalar frequencies. So for immune system, for detox, for weight management, metabolism. So many people are suffering from thyroid and metabolism issues and liver issues. And so those two things are kind of right now where I'm seeing a lot of people need help, liver and thyroid, and then everything else kind of falls in place. So always moving forward, coming out with new supplements all the time. I have my podcast to educate. The other thing that I really try to pride myself on is not just selling the supplements, but to educate the clients so that they can take their power back. Because I did not feel that power when I first went to Western medicine doctors. They dismiss you, they don't teach you, and it's not their fault. They don't have the time to. But I think the education is a big piece.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. And I love that. And we just kind of formed a big giant nutshell, which is great, but it's so great to hear where you're coming from and a little bit about your background. And I don't even know why it's controversial to say stuff like this, but I feel like with my own autoimmune issues in my life, like it feels like I have literally like cured myself of these symptoms with whole and organic fruits and vegetables and whole foods. And I'm just wondering, like with your supplements that you use and everything, have you noticed that kind of path as well with the whole foods and the whole fruits and vegetables?
Absolutely. I think, there's all of these diet controversies. Are you vegan, paleo, keto, carnivore, now the sugar diet? And all of this stuff was never around for our grandparents. Why? Because there wasn't processed food and there wasn't GMOs and glyphosate and all of these toxins that our body's filtering out that's backing up the liver. And if we just ate real food, it would be amazing. Disease would go away. Cancer would go away. Cancer was not a thing when people were eating real food that was unadulterated. But unfortunately, we've got microplastics. We've got fluoride in the water. We've got even the organic vegetables are being washed with chlorine at the organic markets. I mean, it's unreal. And then 70% of the American diet is processed food. People, if it comes in a package and has ingredients on it, it is not a whole food. And I don't care if it's an organic ketogenic protein bar. That is processed food. And some are less than others. And I'll give you a little simple story. I pulled away from all protein bars because I had an addiction, I'm not going to lie, to the Quest protein bars quite a while ago. So I said, I just got to get off of them. Well, in the last couple of months, there's this new bar. And I'm going to name it. It's called the David Bar. And it looked great because it had a lot of protein for less calories and it tastes pretty good. So I thought, okay, if I just keep it to one a day, I'm fine. Well, I started eating them and I'm like, why am I bloated? This doesn't make sense. Wasn't the calories, because my calories are the same. Actually, I had more protein. The fat content, it showed that there was little fat in it. Well, come to find out, they use a fat that is undigested by the body and it just passes through. So remember those days of Olestro and there was anal leakage? Well, this is kind of like that. And I don't want to be gross, but my stools did not look the same, even with just one bar a day. And I thought, you know what, anything that is manufactured so it's not absorbed by the body, and they're purposely doing that so it tastes like it's fatty without the calories being absorbed by the body. But those that fat that is being dismissed out of your body is also carrying nutrients from your other foods.
Totally. Oh yeah.
So that's just another example where you just need to stick to real foods.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was looking because I'm on my own health journey. You know, I was almost 500 pounds as like a bodybuilder, like strongman. I would flip telephone poles, I'd lift cars. It was awesome. It was such a cool thing to do in my 20s and early 30s. And now that I'm 41, I'm like, I got to take care of myself and be a product of the product that I'm representing, which is Cardio Miracle. And I'll tell you more about Cardio Miracle later. But the coolest thing is that I decided that I was going to go with a whole and organic fruits and vegetables kind of approach. And when I started out as ketogenic, and I was doing all sorts of meats, and I was going to the butcher, and I was trying to find the right meats that worked for me. I lost 180 pounds doing strict keto, but now that I want more of a well-rounded lifestyle, now I'm looking at more of those whole and organic foods and the fruits and vegetables. And it is so difficult to find quality because I even look at these little chopped up chicken, you know, these like chicken bites or whatever at Costco, and I look at the expiration date and it's out like 6 or 10 months, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, if this is supposedly organic chicken, how in the world is the expiration date like 6 months? Like, then it's not real. and so we have to be really careful with what we do consume and what we look at to put in our bodies. What would you say would be like the top 3 myths out there when it comes to, you know, shopping and consuming real and organic and straight up whole foods?
Well, I would say that not all vegetables are healthy for you. So some vegetables have oxalates in them, and I am a victim to that one as well. I was high dosing turmeric, which is full of oxalates, and I think it's the number one supplement out there. Turmeric is full of oxalates. What do oxalates do? They're like little toothpicks, and they attach to calcium and other minerals in your body, and they get lodged into your thyroid, causing a slow metabolism in your brain for brain fog. They can cause urogenital issues. So if you're a woman with a lot of UTIs, that could be your issue. Kidney stones, and I had to pass a kidney stone. And for all you women out there who have given birth, I would rather give birth to my 4th child than pass another kidney stone. Not fun, but a lot of swelling and edema from these oxalates, but they're found in spinach, kale, almonds, Swiss chard, a lot of nuts, berries. And I know berries are supposed to be a healthy fruit and they're low sugar, and that's great. But for some people, what we're finding is that due to the pandemic and the spike protein has hijacked the liver. It's caused an issue with the ACE2 receptor. And what does that cause? It causes inflammation, autoimmune disease, more depression and anxiety, slower thyroid, all of these things, and it backs up the liver. So our livers can't handle the amount of oxalates that they used to. And so oxalates are one thing. I would also say there's another group called sulfur. And sulfur is the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, garlic, onions, my favorite things in the world, egg yolks. Now, it's not their fault. It's due to the glyphosate in our environment that has disrupted the sulfur detox pathways. And especially if you have the MTHFR gene, which over 50% of the United States does, you have a compromised sulfur detox pathway already. So, for instance, during my parasite infection that I just went through, I had to be super strict with my diet. I could not have any oxalates or any sulfur, and no chicken. We'll talk about chicken in a minute. Stayed away from fruits and vegetables that have mold in them, like mushrooms or grapes or peas. And a lot of these protein powders that are, those are processed foods, even if they're organic, but they can have a lot of mold or lectins in them. But these things my body couldn't handle. So I could not eat them at all. Now, my immune system is really strong now. Infection's gone. Can I handle a little bit of oxalates and sulfur in my diet? Yes. Do I want them concentrated in a green drink or juicing? No, I don't, because that's too much. So everybody's different. And that's also where, if a vegan diet works for you, great. If you're a carnivore and it works for you, great. Now, do I think you should do either one of them? Most people don't do well on either one. Being a vegan, you're not getting the complete proteins that you get from animal protein. But some animal protein is not good. Chicken, it's not the chicken's fault, is the dirty bird. It is full of amyloid proteins that your body doesn't even break down. So as you were a bodybuilder and you're trying to build your muscles up, the protein goes into you and the liver says, nope, I don't know how to break it down into the amino acids to build up your shoulders and your biceps. And so then it gets lodged into tissues like your brain, causing Alzheimer's and dementia, or into your joints. And amyloids also trigger an uptick in the spike protein and more oxalates and amyloids in the gut, and lets those gut bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, H. pylori to take over the good gut bacteria. H. pylori is the number one cause of this rise in colorectal cancer. And this is happening in younger populations. It's been in the news, and it's H. pylori. Well, the amyloid proteins can make that worse. And what's funny too is when I first went into my mentor's office and I was like laying, my health was at rock bottom. This was way before the pandemic. This was way before, the amount of processed foods and toxins that we have now. I go, for some reason, every time I eat chicken, I get bloated. And I would get this trigger of E. coli. And it was because I didn't have enough stomach acid to kill off the E. coli and to take care of it. But this is now happening to more and more people because of this load of toxins that we are being burdened by. So you've got the chicken, the amyloids in the chicken. It's also in pork. Pigs don't sweat, people, so they're full of those toxins and parasites. After what I went through, I will never touch another piece of bacon or pork ribs ever again. And even turkey. Turkey's not as bad, but it still has those amyloid proteins. I would, if I go to a restaurant and the option is a vegan meal or a chicken dinner with, that's low carb, I'm going to go with the vegan meal because I might be a little puffy the next day from swelling, but I'm not going to have an infection in my gut that's going to last a couple weeks. So right. There's those healthy vegetables, and then there's the healthy, not so healthy vegetables and fruits. There's with the fruits, my favorites are the watermelon, papaya, mango, the cherries. They can give you the good nutrients without any of these anti-nutrients that we're talking about. One myth that I really hammer home on is calories in, calories out is not the whole story. It's a small piece of the story. It does matter, but it's a very small piece of the story.
Right. It's amazing. You're the second person in 2 weeks who's talked about this H. pylori, and because I hadn't heard of it a lot before, but this, pulling it up again on Google is like horrific what it actually is. And so just saying it refers to bacterium, and it's a common type of bacteria that infects the stomach and causes inflammation. And so I wanted to kind of do a layman's term, kind of break it down a little bit, but that is fascinating. So how common is the H. pylori that you found in people that you've worked with?
It's very common. I would say most people are just living with it and don't know it. And the biggest offender is having low stomach acid. So if you suffer from GERD or acid reflux at all, that that means that you have this flap. You don't have enough stomach acid down there. You think you have too much, but you actually don't have enough. And the acid's able to come up and you feel the burn. We need more stomach acid down there to kill off the H. pylori, the E. coli, salmonella. So when you're eating foods and they have something in them that you don't want, your stomach acid kills it off. And most adults don't have enough stomach acid. So I use a supplement called HCl Guard to help with that stomach acid, and it also helps digest the proteins very quickly and assimilate the amino acids into your muscles in your body very quickly, and then you don't have to worry about H. pylori.
Wow, that's amazing. And so with that, with the supplements that you have on your website that I see, are this helps regulate that or helps eliminate?
So when the top things that I focus on are detoxification, because number one, our liver is backed up. It's got too much going on, and the liver is a huge part of your digestion. So yes, you want to make sure your stomach acid is strong, and that's where the HCl Guard comes in. But we have an accelerated liver care that cleans out, detoxes, restores, and rebuilds your liver. 45% or more adults have fatty liver disease, and I don't care if you're drinking alcohol or not. It's not necessarily an alcoholic disease anymore. 25% of our children have fatty liver disease. They don't drink alcohol. It's from the processed foods, the fluoride in our water, the chlorine in our food, arsenic in our organic brown rice, the lead in our organic chocolate whey protein powders, all of these things that we think we're doing the right thing. And your audience is listening to this podcast because they're trying to do the right thing, but they're probably the ones buying the organic chocolate whey protein powder with a whole bunch of lead in it. So your liver is being backed up. Your liver is where the thyroid hormones convert from inactive T4 into the active T3. Your active T3 is your metabolism. It's your fat burning. It's your energy. It's your ability not to have to take a nap at 3 p.m. or to go to the gym and actually have energy to lift your weights, right? So we need that free T3, which most doctors don't test. They only test the T4 and the TSH. Well, this all happens in the liver. Your fat breakdown happens in the liver. When my liver wasn't working, I could not eat a high-fat diet because I would get nauseous. My bile and my liver were not working and processing that fat. I was not assimilating the proteins I was eating. Even though I was eating healthy wild protein, which is what I recommend, is the elk, venison, bison, wild fish. Those are the proteins you want to focus on. But my body couldn't even break those down because my liver was so backed up with all these toxins and fighting this and that. And so the accelerated liver care helps detox the body so you can improve your fat burning, improve your hormones. If you are a man with low testosterone or a woman with estrogen dominance and you can't get rid of that excess weight, you've got fibroids, you've got hard breast tissue, you've got brain fog, you've got the night sweats or the hot flashes, that all comes from the liver. And then also your thyroid. I mean, the whole idea of life is to have energy to live and to do what you want to enjoy, your work, your family, your workouts, all that stuff. You cannot have energy without a healthy thyroid. The number one cause for depression is low iodine. You cannot have a healthy thyroid without iodine. And that is why one of the top 3 supplements we sell are the Accelerate iodine. It is the only iodine that is not contaminated, made with organic, non-GMO, 200 proof alcohol paired with monoatomic iodine. What does that mean? It means that it's one molecule of iodine, and that is bioavailable, ready to get to every cell in the body, not just the thyroid, but the brain, every part of your body kicking out those toxins that we are storing in our fat cells. And back to the thought of calories in, calories out is not all what it is your fat cells are storage components for these toxins. So that lead and mercury that has no calories, your body needs to store it in fat cells to get it out of the blood. So the more toxins you have, the more fat cells your body needs to have, or the bigger they will get to store these toxins for survival. So your body's not going to lose weight unless it feels safe to release these toxins. And that's where iodine comes in. So it's really important for your thyroid. It's the 4 and 3 and the T4 and T3 thyroid hormones. So you can't have thyroid hormones without iodine. But you need iodine for the cell membrane. It's part of the membrane that allows the toxins out and the nutrients in. When my son's cells were so sick at the age of 9, his cells were very rigid. They would not let anything out, and they looked so nutritionally deficient because none of the nutrients could get in, because there wasn't a good, healthy, fatty phosphatidylcholine is a really healthy fat to pair with the acceleradine iodine for that cell membrane health. But then you also need iodine inside the cell for the mitochondria to increase the ATP. That is your energy, that ATP. Not the coffee, not the Monster drink. It is the ATP. Well, you can't have high ATP without iodine. So you need the iodine for inside the cell, on the cell membrane, and outside the cell to clean the blood so the liver can do its job. And it is antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic. I even was putting it on top of my skin when I had the infection breakouts coming through my skin, paired with castor oil. You just rub it on scar tissue or a skin rash or even acne or brown spots. I always go to bed with a nice castor oil iodine face mask. And it is just that one supplement that everybody needs. And the problem is it's no longer in our diets. It's no longer in our soils. Even the iodized salt that people talk about, full of microplastics. So you're taking salt thinking you're getting iodine, but you're just taking in more toxins. So that iodine is really important for your liver health, for your thyroid health. And when those two organs work, then everything else kind of falls in place. But you have to support it, like you're saying, with whole foods. And you can also pair it with, the accelerated thyroid is a natural thyroid glandular supplement that feeds your thyroid what it needs. Now, when people go to the doctor says, oh, your thyroid's normal. They're testing two numbers, TSH and T4. They're not testing the full thyroid panel. You need to have your free T3 tested and your reverse T3. So write that down. And next time you go to the doctor, say, I want a full thyroid panel for the full picture. Because otherwise, if you're feeling fatigued, if you're tired, if you have unexplained weight gain, and it doesn't make sense, and your doctor says you are normal, number one, find a new doctor. Number two, get a full thyroid panel and listen to your body. You are your best doctor.
I love that. And, just even looking at your website, that you definitely, you live what you preach. And it's amazing because it's all about the education. And so what we'd like to do, the reason why we did reach out to you, the reason why we like to talk to like-minded people is because with Cardio Miracle, we have had tests done on it to show that one of the most effective things that it does is obviously it generates and sustains nitric oxide in your blood for 24 hours a day. And then when people take it on a fasted stomach, it actually utilizes those stored fat cells, and it utilizes it and actually puts more vitamin D in your system, so that the only thing that's spiking is not your blood sugar, not your glucose. It's actually your vitamin D levels are spiking. And that is what we know and what we've done in our studies, that anyone can go to cardiomiracle.com/studies. They can look at like what we do, And then when I come to your website, I see this big thing that is this big image, which is amazing, that says August Challenge. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, if you could educate us a little bit on the 3-day 30-day parasite cleanse challenge that you're doing in August.
So, like I said, this was God's work because he put me through this horrific parasite infection. And I was doing a whole bunch of other anti-parasitic supplements. They would like take it from 100% down to 80 or 70%. These 3 supplements are what nipped it in the bud and ended it. So the first supplement is the Accelerated Silver, which is my flagship product. It was the one that helped cure my son at 9 years old and the reason that I started my business. It's antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic. It has shown a lot of promise during the pandemic. Can't speak too much about that, but let me just tell you, all 5 of us in our family, no symptoms from the virus. We all tested positive at least once, and funny stories about that, but never had a symptom of that. So that is number 1. And then number 2 is the Accelerated Super Candida Cleanse. Now you're going, wait, parasite Candida? Well, this kills, Candida is a parasite. So what these little buggers do is they create this hard shell. Think of a lobster shell, hard coating to protect themselves. And parasites hold on to heavy metals and mold and all this other stuff. So your immune system cannot break that shell. So all the other antiparasitics I was taking wasn't breaking through the shell. So this breaks through that shell. It has no effect on your liver or any of your other organs. It's very gentle. You can give it to your animals. And in fact, I recommend they go through the cleanse with you because if you've got parasites, they've got parasites. If you own a dog, you've got parasites. So this will go after Candida, parasites, any fungal infection. And then the Accelerated Cellular Detox Powder, you hear about die-off symptoms, Candida die-off symptoms, parasite die-off symptoms. It's because your body's releasing all these toxins and you feel, ugh. So the detox powder soaks up all these toxins, even the heavy metals that get released, carries them through your body and out of your body very quickly and swiftly, and you feel great. So I always give a free little sample of our Accelerated Ancient Salt too, because the salt is very important for those die-off symptoms as well. Plumps up the blood so the liver can do its job and get the toxins out. It takes away the nausea and helps increase the intracellular hydration as your body's doing this detox.
Wow, that's amazing. And so with an August challenge like this, typically, do you, like with people taking these, the whole line, how do you do with trying to keep people on track and taking the right amounts? Like, is it a chore, or do you check in with them every day, or do you have like an email that goes out, or?
Yeah, I've guided a guided group on Telegram for coaching. I check in every day. I educate daily. I give them a food list. There's a full instruction and video on how to take the supplements. These 3 supplements are probably the easiest supplements to incorporate into your routine. Yeah. Super easy. The Accelerated Silver tastes like water. You take it whenever you want, with food, without food, doesn't matter. The Candida Cleanser, you just take 4 pills a day with your meals. So maybe 2 and 2 or 1, 1, 1, 1, depending on how you eat. You just need to eat it with a little fat in your meal, not a ton. So it's not, even if you're on a low fat diet, you're eating plenty of fat to have for that to work. And then the detox powder, you take it once at night in juice or water. I like to put it with a little apple cider vinegar, a little stevia in water over ice. And I actually mix it with some, a magnesium drink that tastes like tart cherry. And it's a great little mixture to help me go to sleep and have a great night's sleep, but soaking up all those toxins from the day, including the die-off from the other supplements.
Very cool. That's very cool. And yeah, so sorry, I see this. I clicked on the 30-day thing and it says starts Monday, August 4th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 30-day support group, which is unbelievable. I love it. So talking about colloidal silver, that's the way I say it. But I got bit by a brown recluse spider in 2001, and um, I had this black line going up my leg, and they went to the hospital, of course, and they sucked everything out, all the pus out and everything. They tested it, and they told me what it was, and then they put me on like a 6-week protocol. They sent all these IVs home with me and everything, and I went to the chiropractor, and it's 2001, and he said, I want to put you on colloidal silver and start putting it in your open wound, where where the doctors cut it open and everything. And he's like, but I could lose my license because, you need to be hush hush about this. And so
Yeah.
it's so amazing how far we've come as a society. But that saved my leg. Like they said that if the poison gets in my blood system, that they might have to amputate my leg from the knee down. And I was so blessed to come across this colloidal silver product, and now I still have the silver in my daily regimen. Whenever I feel a sore throat or anything coming on, just take some silver. Earache goes away. It's unbelievable. This silver is like it's a huge part of my daily routine.
Yeah. Well, we need
So
to
I
upgrade your
love it.
silver to the accelerated silvers because our silver is enhanced with scalar frequencies. So we put in frequencies to actually go after the viruses and the things that are maybe in our world today a little more specific. And it's nanoparticle silver plus the colloidal silver. So you've got the different size molecules that are going after different tissues. I put it in my dog's
Wow.
ears. I put it in sprayed in their eyes, swish it around your mouth for a natural mouthwash. It is amazing. It's great for acne and wound healing, just like you're talking about. It should be in every American home.
100%. Totally agree with that. And so, Sarah, as we're wrapping up, if it's okay, if you want to tell us how we can get in touch with you, how people can follow you, how your website, it's acceleratedhealthproducts.com, but how else can people find you on the web?
Search Sara Banta, you'll find me. Sara Banta Health is where all of my articles are, links to group coaching, and you can also link to the acceleratedhealthproducts.com website through there. All of my podcasts are on every outlet, over 100 different outlets, and that's Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. My group coaching is on Telegram. It's uncensored and it is there for you to ask your questions, be part of a like-minded group to gain your power back over your health. And I post daily, give you tips and tools about different symptoms, whether it's inflammation, chronic disease, GERD, liver issues, thyroid issues, hair falling out, bloat, constipation, you name it, we talk about it. And I'm there to serve you.
That's amazing. Yeah, we love that. And if it's okay with you, I wanted to send you kind of like a care package of Cardio Miracles, so you can try it for yourself. It's all like I said, it's all whole and organic fruits and vegetables. We have a very controlled way that we grow the fruits and the vegetables. We make sure that the oxalates are super low. And but we do have over 58 whole and organic whole fruits in the product and vegetables. And so we'll, if that's okay, we can send that out to you and give you a little try, and you can take it with all these other products. There's nothing that clashes or anything. And so we've got over 50,000 customers that love the product, and we just wanted to kind of send that to you for a thank you for being on this with us today. And any final words that you have for us as we wrap up here?
Yeah, whatever health issue you are facing, it's reversible, period. Absolutely. What I've overcome and what
Love it.
my family's overcome, I always say to my children when they come up with a challenge, whether it's health or friends, I'm like, I can't wait to see what God does with this, because you are going to strengthen the muscles and learn something that is going to take you even further in life. So don't mess with your teeth, but everything else is reversible.
No, I love that. And we do, our tagline is taking your health into your own hands. I mean, so we love that. We love being on the same page with you there. And it's been such an honor to get to know your journey and your story and your family story. And I'm so grateful. I had a dear cousin of mine die back in, when I was 8 years old, when he was 8 years old, from leukemia. And
Oh,
back in 1992, 94, whatever, there wasn't as many options as there is now, which is,
yeah.
we just have to thank the Lord for what we have at our fingertips, and so grateful that your son was able to overcome that and those symptoms, and that your kids are super healthy, and that you are bringing that message out to the world. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Josh.